Hey everyone, it's Stephen here once again, and I'm bringing you an updated version of my fragrance collection. I'd done a video like this last year in early October, so I think I'm doing this now again a year onwards, and you can see the different fragrances that I own. Out of my collection from last year, only 4 remain, and I've sold every other fragrance, including pretty much every single cheapie that I own. I don't have many clones anymore. And I'll start off by basically showing you the fragrances that I owned last year, and then I'll cover the houses which I only own 1 bottle of, and then I'll cover my bottles in a house by house format. So yep, without further ado, here we are. Thanks. So this is Avant-Garde by Lanvin. Annoyingly, I've lost the cap. This is really nice actually. It's not too expensive, but I've heard people say it was discontinued and becoming hard to get. But yeah, I really like this. Club Dinner Eating Tense Man. I've changed my mind about this. I don't really wear it that often. I probably haven't worn it in maybe 5 or 6 months maybe. I don't know, I just don't really care for it too much nowadays. This is Narciso Rodriguez Musk Edition for him. This is quite nice, but it's quite linear, and again I've owned this for over a year and a half. Probably worn it no more than 8 times, and I don't know, it doesn't really impress me too much. And conversely, here's Quorum, which is probably my most worn fragrance. Well, not worn, but used in terms of volume. I love this juice. Absolutely, absolutely I love it. So that's all that needs to be said about that. So those are the only 4 fragrances that I owned last year that have made it through this time. So here's what I own or have bought since. So I have like a little decant here of Armani Nuit. Yeah, that's okay again. I don't really wear it that often, and nothing too special. I have sort of, I think it was 50ml of D&G Velvet Tender Oud. This is a cracking fragrance. There's not many people talking about this. There's not many reviews on Fragrantica. It's quite sharp and like kind of astringent at the start, but it develops into a really strong and nice long-lasting rose oud. Really nice. Here's Meheris by Leila Bora. I can't even remember now. It's supposed to be a clone of Musk Ravageur by Frederic Malle, but I don't really think that much of it. I haven't really worn it that much, conversely, so it's hard to actually make a good judgment on this, but I just never really fancy wearing it. I'll always overlook it. I've bought this recently, which is Fougere Royale by Hubejant. This is incredibly well blended. It has gorgeous notes of lavender, and I pretty much don't like lavender. And it's just all around an absolutely great fragrance. Really, really good. I've posted a first impressions video of this on my channel, which is Guerlain's Vetiver, or Guerlain rather. And again, it's okay. Quite fresh and suited for the springtime, I would say, but I just don't really reach for it that often. It is a nice fragrance, it's got decent long-lasting power, and I just find other fragrances to weigh in its place. So here's a relative cheap fragrance. This is Fakat Lil Rijal by Versace. This is absolutely outstanding in my opinion. It's got such a strong like oudy and leather note. I spray this late at night, and when I go to bed and wake up the next day, like the dry on my clothes is absolutely outstanding. This is strong as hell as well. I have a vintage bottle of Xerius Rouge by Givenchy. This features notes of chili and sandalwood, and it's quite a hot fragrance. It's quite nice, but again I haven't worn it that much, but the times I have worn it I do enjoy it, but I think to myself, why don't I wear this more often? And then I never reach for it again for a few months. Here's Arab Tradition by Nabil. I've done a review of this, which is a clone of Tuscan leather. Excellent projection and longevity, lasts for hours and hours. Also incredibly cheap. This cost me £13. Great value for money. Here's a fragrance by DIor that I picked up for relatively cheap. It's Liquid Mind Control. It's a copy of Baraconda by Nasa Mato. I haven't really worn it much, only kind of once or twice, but it seems to last for a long time, and overall it's just pretty nice. I haven't bought it much to actually comment that much on it, sorry. I'm going to be saying that a lot because I've bought so many samples and bottles lately that I'm just putting things aside and testing them once or twice and not really getting a full appreciation for the fragrance. So here's Encre Noir Sport. I find this is probably my favourite of the three. I had Encre Noir and I sold that, and I had a sample of L'Extrême, but I just think this one is my favourite. The citrus notes bring some more versatility to it, and it seems to last the longest out of the three as well. The performance and projection of this one are really, really good. Here's another fragrance by Lanvin. This has been discontinued and is quite rare-ish. It's Arpège Pour Homme. Quite irisy and quite a smooth nighttime date kind of fragrance, but I'm not sure if it's my kind of thing really. It's not too bad, but yeah. Of course this was a blind buy because I couldn't find a sample of it. This is Zara's exclusive Oud. This again is extremely good. This cost me about £20 and it has incredible kind of like projection and long-lasting performance. Again, it lasts like 12 hours, EDP concentration, and I find it's just like extremely classy. It's not very oudy, but it's just good. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to include this bottle because I'm selling it, but it's Givenchy's Gentleman. I've been trying to kind of do the fragrances by houses that I only own one bottle of at first, but I've already done a Givenchy fragrance. But you know, I'm selling this, so it'll be gone soon enough. The performance is unfortunately not very good, but the smell is incredible. This is obviously the vintage bottle, and oof, it's really masculine. Here's Potion by D Squared. This is really sweet and ambery, kind of cinnamon heavy, but I absolutely love this fragrance. I don't like sweet fragrances generally, but this is one of the few exceptions to that rule. Great fragrance. This is the EDT also, and it's the first formulation. I think the batch is from 2011 and the projection and performance is really, really good. I have Gucci Guilty. I love this release, probably one of my favourites from this year. Really good performance, long lasting power, and people won't like this generally, but it kind of does something to me. It's incredibly addictive. And finally now, the final bottle from the houses that I only own one fragrance of. This is Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense. Another recent purchase. I had a sample of it and I tried it once and then bought it instantly. It's a really nice classy fragrance and I'm looking forward to wearing this more now as the weather draws in. Right, so now to do the bottles by the houses that I own multiple bottles of. Where to start? Well, I guess I'll go for Zegna. So I own 3 bottles of Zegna's Essenza line. This is Blurry. Yeah, this is Sicilian Mandarin. This fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. You know, summer fragrance, springtime, but it's so nice. Extremely realistic notes in it. Here I have Javanese Patchouli. Again, I do like patchouli, and this is an incredibly good scent. Probably well suited for spring and maybe early fall, or autumn. And yeah, this fragrance is really good. Decent strength as well, and very classy. And my favourite of the Zegnas that I own is Indonesian Oud. I had a sample of this, and once I finished it, I thought, yes, I need a bottle of this. So yeah, I bought this slightly used, but this will last me a very long time, and it's kind of similar to the D&G one in kind of what it does. You know, a lot of these oud rose fragrances are kind of similar. This one isn't so heavy on the oud, but just overall it creates a very classy, and again the dry down is superb. Here's Pure Malt by Mugler. I've cut the top as well so you can spray it better. I don't know. This is okay, but it's nothing special. Don't think the performance is the best on me, but I think the sweetness puts me off a little bit. So conversely to that, here's Pure Leather. This is quite dry and it smells like a vintage fragrance to me. However, I did test it a few days ago and I don't know, I might have oversprayed it, but it just kind of, there was something in it that just didn't really settle too well with me, and there was a note in there that was kind of irking me. So yeah, I was a bit annoyed with that. I also had Ultra Zest and I sold it because in the dry down it develops this kind of creaminess which I really don't like. The fragrance is excellent for the first hour, but then once it hits that dry down, it's not my kind of cup of tea. Here's Pure Havana. This has better performance than Pure Malt, I believe, but again, I haven't really worn it that much because I just don't really reach for it, to be honest. So here's another recent buy, but I've had a sample for a while. It's Xerjoff's 1861 Renaissance. Yes, this is an amazingly bright citrus fragrance, which I love. I was wearing this a few days ago and the performance is outstanding. And yeah. Another Xerjoff is Fiero. This is quite similar to Dior's Eau Sauvage, but you know, the notes are definitely of high quality. Not to say that Dior's aren't, but again, it's a very long-lasting citrus fragrance, which is really good. I mean, those two Xerjoffs and the Zegna Sicilian Mandarin are pretty much me set for sort of spring and summer because they're amazing. Another recent buy is Perfume Calligraphy by Aramis. This is an EDP concentration. It's quite prominent notes of myrrh and oud. Quite classy, super long-lasting, and really high quality as well. And of course I have the old classic Aramis. This is outstanding too, notes of leather, just an overall powerhouse and very classy and quite luxurious smelling. From the house of Aqua Fahrenheit, I have this quite empty bottle of oud. I bought this partial bottle for a decent price because I was looking for a sample, so somebody kindly sold me a bottle. This is actually my scent of the night and love this juice. However, from Aqua de Parma, I actually prefer Cologne leather more. This is another recent purchase, but I did have a sample first. I didn't blind buy this. Yes, this fragrance is bloody amazing. It goes smoky at some times, the fruitiness and the citrus notes are there as well, but it's incredibly long lasting too. And my least favourite of the line, but I also really do like it, is Quercia. I have no idea what happened to the bottle here. It's battered. I bought it from eBay, but you know, the juice is correct. And I really do like it, but I do prefer the other two Aqua Palmas to this. This is kind of weird, but it's weird in a very good way. So I have here Grey Vetiver EDT by Tom Ford. This is okay. People do compare this and the Guerlain side by side. And I do plan to, you know, give them a bit of a comparison because again, similar to the Guerlain, I haven't really reached for this. But it's okay. Yeah. And again, from the house of Tom Ford is Italian Cypress. I kind of thought this would really be up my street. You know, is it properly uber masculine? Well, it is very kind of serious. It's not masculine necessarily, but it's a very serious fragrance and I don't see many situations to really reach for it. You know, the dry down is incredible, but I am listing this on eBay currently, so I don't know. I'd rather just sell it and not have the bottle because I haven't really worn it that much. And I don't particularly care for it too much, you know. Right, so from Chanel I have here Antaeus. Nothing much more needs to be said about this. Outstanding juice. I have many backup bottles and they're all vintages. But yeah, whatever. And this is Pour Monsieur. Again, this is quite classy. It smells similar to Antaeus. They seem to share a similar-ish DNA, or rather Antaeus smells more like this. But yeah, this doesn't last the longest, but I really enjoy the ride while it lasts. Kouros, my boy, my man, my one and only, my favourite fragrance. And this is the Paris edition, so it's the very first release from Kouros, like a 1986 bottle I think it is. I have a shitload of Kouroses and I plan to kind of compare them all. and then sell some off because there's no need for me to own as many as I do. And I've started to hunt down Kouros flankers, so I've recently acquired Kouros Tattoo. This is kind of more like a, how can I put it, a lighter Kouros which is still identifiable as Kouros. It's weird to say, but I need to test this more often. Sorry, test this more, but I was very impressed with it. I have here Kouros Sport, which was it's an aftershave. And, well, it's not an aftershave, it is an EDT versus splash. So it's still very strong, but I just have to decant it. And yeah, again, this is Kouros, but Kouros Light, but, you know, Kouros Light is still not light. So yeah. I have a vintage women's bottle here of opium. Very, very, very spicy. I think the top notes have faded in particular in this one. But the dry down is kind of quite nice. I have here YSL M7. This is the first reformulation of it, where the bottle is not solid in colour. There's just a coloured back on here. Yeah, quite oody, amber. Does give you that cherry vibe a bit. To be honest, I'm not too enthralled by it. But, you know, it's quite nice, but I don't see myself reaching for it that often. I have some better oud fragrances that I think I'd rather wear them in place of M7. And I bought this first, which is M7 Fresh. So yeah, there's citrus notes in here with also oud, which kind of gives it a bit of a twist. Makes it a bit different. But the performance isn't the best, and it's nice, but I didn't really wear it that much this summer, and I don't see myself reaching for it now. So Dior. Here's Fahrenheit, of course. This is the current formulation. Performance is not the best. I own several vintages of this, and they do feel richer, a bit more complex, and they are longer lasting. But I just brought this one down. I own Fahrenheit Cologne. This is actually really good. It doesn't get enough credit in my opinion. I actually tested this the other night because I hadn't worn it in a few months, and I was just taken aback by how bloody good it actually is. I really like this. Performance is also excellent. And yeah, here's Aqua Fahrenheit. I'll be honest, this started off as a love for me, but now it's became a like. I still really like the fragrance, it's just not as good as I thought it was initially. But again, I haven't really worn it for a few months now. But it does have good projection performance. Here's Fahrenheit Parfum. Again, I haven't really worn this one that much. I probably tested it like 5 or 6 times and I've decanted a bit of it. But yeah, the dried up is lovely. Good strength and long lasting on this. Fahrenheit Absolute. Bit low in this bottle, but I have others. Yeah, this is weird. It doesn't seem to last or project very much, but then if you spray like fuck, you'll get really good performance with it. And I see, I'll be reviewing this at some point, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But I do really like that one. I have Eau Sauvage Parfum 2017. This is a friggin' amazing fragrance. I prefer this one, to be honest, to the 2012. People will think that's crazy and oh my god, 2012 is the holy grail, but there's something about this one in particular that I just prefer. It seems to last longer as well. And yes, of course I do have this one. This again is an outstanding fragrance, but I think I must just get really anosmic to it because once I'm wearing it I can't really notice it that much. But yeah, the juice is, oh, you can feel the quality and it's a pleasure to wear. Very serious, not really too serious, but I wear it quite casually because if I wore it formally only I'd never wear it, which is stupid. So that's my collection, guys. I just thought I'd share that with you so you can see what kind of fragrances I'm into nowadays. So out of those bottles, there are 2 which are currently on their way to me, and one is Aramis Calligraphy Rose. I ordered this kind of mid-September from a company called Galaxy Perfumes. They have a website which is .co.uk. However, they dispatch from America, and it's taken like 6 to 7 weeks now to come, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I also have Kouros Cologne Sport by YSL on its way. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and until the next one, I'll be back with a first impressions or a review of something. See you soon.